Hi guys, welcome to a new video. I am Christina and today I'm going to teach you how to draw eyes in a few steps. I decided to make an eyes tutorials because you guys asked me a lot about tutorials. So this is going to be the first one. I tried to make it in a step-by-step format. Also, I'm trying to explain you a few things like tips and things you have to take in consideration. And also, I'm going to give you like two parts. The first part is going to be the sketching part that I think is the most important part. So it's the one that I'm going to pay more attention in this tutorial. And the second part, that is the coloring. About the coloring, I have to say that it's going to be pretty basic, but I will try to cover a few things that you have to take in mind when you put color in your eyes. And say that, let's jump to the first part, the sketching part. Okay guys, this is so simple. First, we sketch one eye, pay attention to the eyebrows that they match the same size as the eyes, then we paint the second eye and just fill the iris. Okay, so now you have everything you need to know for making eyes. No, I'm joking. Let's jump again to the tutorial. First, we have to place the eyes in the face. For doing that, we need to find the references and the correct places to do, because other than that, it's going to look very, very weird. So for doing that, I always use the rules of thirds, where you can divide your head in different spaces so you know where to place the eyes. The first thing I do is I make these two kind of circles because this is where the eyes are going to be. You have to think of the eyes as two balls that you have in the head. So this way you know that you're going to have the eyes well placed and in the correct space. Also, using eyes to create more references, like where you have to put the nose, and also using the iris to know where the mouth it has to end. Here you can see more or less the spaces and the size of the eyes and the proportions you can have with them. And always you have to take in mind that this space between the two eyes, it has to be the same size of the eyes, you see? For 3/4 view, more or less I do the same. I use the same balls to place the eyes. If you see, one of them has different perspectives, so you have to take in mind that the farther eye, I hope I'm saying it right, but the eye that is more far away has another kind of shape, and you have to take in mind that you can make the two eyes the same size, so you have to think with perspective because the head has some kind of perspective. Now it's time to draw an eye, a front face eye, so I start with the shape. I am using a center arc type of eye. I just draw the iris. I always try to draw the iris as smaller as possible. I think smaller iris are more expressive in eyes. Then I drew the shape of the eyelashes. I normally tend to use this kind of shape because it's my way to draw eyes, but you can change it if you want. And then I'm adding a little bit of detail, you know, I'm giving more shape to the eye. Also, a good tip for making front face eyes is using the symmetry tool on Procreate. So this way you're going to have the eyes more or less the same, and then you only have to move the iris of the eye. Now it's time for 3/4 face eyes. I think they are my favorite. I hate drawing front face eyes, but 3/4 face eyes are more interesting to draw. You see that I made it shorter. They are not that longer than the front face. And we have to here take in mind that the eye that is far away, as I said before, it has to be shorter, but it has to maintain the same height of the eye. Okay, no, that's not good. Now, I started with the eyebrow. I always like to draw eyebrows and put the part of the nose because for me it's easier to place the eye in the correct size. You see, I also play with the perspective in the eyelashes. They are not the same angle. And I try to make them the same height of the other eye because even it's a different shape, it has to keep the same height, you know? They have to have some symmetry. If you see, you can change the eyelashes type. Here I'm adding other kind of eyelashes. always take in mind that you have to follow the perspective from the face. I like to add a few details on eyes when I sketch, like the pupils, like some highlights, because I think they bring some life to the eye, and also some shadows. On the painting process, I'm going to follow the same detailed rules. So I'm going to do the pupil, I'm going to put highlights, and I'm going to work with shadows. Playing with the arc of the eye, it's how you are going to change the shape. So I'm going to let you hear these examples so you can try, or even you can find yourself and experiment a little bit. Profile pics are always super difficult to do, and I think that creating the shape of the eye in a profile pic is also very challenging. It took me a long time to start thinking about the profile shape of an eyes like on a pizza slide. If you see, they have the same sides, and also you can play with the eyelid, so you can make the eye closer or more open. Here I'm just sketching like more in details so you can see how I draw the eye and put the face on it. Normally I put like the end of the nose where the eyes are, so it's a good reference point to put the eye. Aligning the eye is the hardest part of this. We want to make it fine and make it look to the correct place. So you have to take in mind that you have to follow an horizontal line that has to match both eyes. Before you ask me, I have been sketching with the Teal sketch brush. It's available on the wash bag in my Gumroad. And now I'm going to proceed with the color of this eye. For painting the eye, I am using the hard round brush that is available on the Back to Basics packs. So if you want to see more brushes for Procreate, you can go to my Gumroad store and you will find them all there. I decided to make the coloring part by step. It's a very short part, but I think this covers the most important things you have to take in mind when you paint eyes. Like shadows, like details, like if you want to add more or less detail, that is depending on you, how the ambient light affects to the eye. Again, this is not mandatory, but in case you decide to make more detailed eyes or more realistic eyes, or you are placing your character in somewhere, you know, that has like external light or a second light that it's affecting the face, probably you can apply these techniques. Say that, let's go to the coloring part. First, I start painting the white of the eye. You see, I'm not using pure white. I really don't like to use white in this case. Second, I start painting the iris. I changed the color a little bit because I didn't like it, and then I paint the pupils. I decided to paint the eyebrow, not necessarily at that point because this is an example. You know, guys, I always love to put some detail in some areas. I like to paint some gradient. Normally use a soft brush. You can use whatever color you like. And also you can play with blending modes, or maybe you can use another kind of brush, like more texture. Next step is painting the shadows. I always use this kind of muted purple, and then I search for the best combination of blending modes. Liner burn is the one that I choose, and it works better for me because it has like the effect I really want on the eye. For highlights, I always work with pure white. That's why I didn't paint the white of the eye in white, because the highlights, it didn't, you know, pop up. And what I tend to do is if I work with liner, I just paint the color, you know, the liner with a matching color, in this case green. You also can add some kind of volume to the eye with this soft pink and add some veins, red veins. I didn't tend to do that, but in case you want to do this kind of realistic thing to your eye, you can also paint, you know, these kind of things in pink. And now I can start adding some lights to make like ambient effect to the eye. I am using different kind of blending modes and different kind of colors. Also, you can change the color of the effect later with the hue, saturation and brightness tool. I always like to smudge a little bit the shape, you know, to make more diffuse light. Now you see I changed the color to blue and I am adjusting the color. And last step is doing like another layer with more saturated color and using the add blending mode to make the color merge well and create this effect. And now you know everything you have to know for making eyes. Hope this quick tutorial helped you to boost your eyes and make them brighter and make them amazing. And if you have any doubt, please let me know in the comments so I will try to help you the best I can. And before going, I want to say that tomorrow I will be in Pinterest live streaming. So I will be covering more about the eyes. So if you want to make me a question live in a live stream, you can go tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Central European time. So if you want to make me questions there, and if you want to see more in detail and in a live stream mode what I have been talking about eyes, just go to the link I will leave below. So say that, guys. See you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye. Hope you have a nice week.